I get asked this a lot, so I'm gonna try to explain it good so I can put it on YouTube. Um, when my tics first started, okay, so this was like a week long process, okay? Like, hold on, I should pause my timer because this is gonna take a minute. This was like a days long process, okay? Okay, so, so when my tics first started, they were like really, really small from what I noticed, like noticeably wise. So, days before that, I was just making like really strange noises that I found strange, but nobody noticed. So I was just making noises and I was popping my mouth, but that was about it. That's what happened at first. And the reason I didn't go to the hospital on day one was because honestly, I thought I was being a dick. So, I was watching, so moments before that, um, so, like, yeah, so moments before that, I'm still dealing with a car accident that I was in recently. I don't know which one of these caused this, by the way, so I'm thinking the biggest three reasons I think might have caused it was either my car accident or the stress from working my job or both. Which, my job was like very, very stressful, especially during times of COVID. I used to be a CNA, but there's a probably both, yeah. So, at the time, when the day my Tourette started, I was exposed to a side of TikTok, which is where people with Tourette's who've had Tourette's and they're like making, doing Tourette's humor, raising awareness about Tourette's and all of that stuff. And yeah, that's what side of TikTok I was on at the time. So when I came to work like all propping and shit, I was just like, okay, stop making fun of people with Tourette's. That's what the fuck? Why are you so fucked up? What the no. And to be clear, because I know this is a thing going on in the Tourette's community right now, unfortunately. But to be clear, I don't consider the Tourette's activists a possible reason for me having Tourette's. If all it took for me to have Tourette's is for random people on the internet to make me aware of it, then I probably had Tourette's before that. Yeah. So I don't consider Tourette's activists on the internet the reason why I have Tourette's right now. And I'm just making that clear because I know there are articles about it where people are all like, like I know there are articles about it where people are all like, oh shit, these kids are having Tourette's. And it's because pretty much all of them follow someone on TikTok with Tourette's, and these people with Tourette's on TikTok is giving these kids Tourette's, and blah, 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 blah. And now these activists are currently, I don't know if they still are, I don't know if it blew over by now, but now these Tourette's activists are currently being blamed for other people having Tourette's. And so I just want to make it clear, I do not consider them a possibility because if all it took for me to have Tourette's is to be made aware of it, I already have it, okay? I already had it. And yeah, it doesn't even make sense. Brains aren't that impressionable, and thank God it's not that impressionable. Thank fucking God it's not that impressionable, because I was a CNA and taking care of all these old people with their old people brains, and with a brain that impressionable, I would have been fucked, bro. I would have had all kinds of fucked upness. Like, Tourette's would have been the least of my concern. If that's the case, I'm gonna start watching videos. Oh, yeah! It just doesn't make sense. Exactly. Um, day one, I didn't go to the hospital because I was being a cuck. I thought I was being a cuck. I thought it was like the whole time I was just like having like these really small tics where I snap involuntarily, make all these weird noises that nobody would notice because everyone was busy doing their own shit at work or at home. And I was just like, alright, you are being such a dick right now. What the fuck? Why are you making fun of people with Tourette's after you just saw videos of people having a tic attack? You saw how hard it is for people to have Tourette's, and now here you are making fun of people with Tourette's. Why are you so fucked up? What the But this would last for a day. And then day 2 rolled around. Day 2 rolled around, and it pretty much went the same way. And again, nobody really noticed except like maybe a few people. They're like, "Why are you doing that?" And I'm just like, and I'm just like, sorry, I don't know. I'm just messing around. But yeah, and then day 3 happened. But this time, I was just like, okay, I am not this much of a piece of shit, right? There's no way I'm this much of a piece of shit. There's no way. So, like, I decided, like, and then I remember my car accident. And, like, I wasn't terribly hurt in the car accident. My arms were just scratched up. I didn't go to the hospital after the car accident because I thought I was, like, completely fine. Maybe a little scratched up, maybe, like, emotionally, what the fuck, because I felt like such an idiot for causing the car accident. But that's about it. So now I'm thinking about the car accident, and I'm just like, oh god, maybe that accident fucked me up more than I thought. So, did I hit my head? Kind of. It was like I didn't really hit my head. I did get kicked around. And there was an airbag, obviously, which, by the way, hurt like a fucking bitch. I thought airbags were soft. They're not. They're fucking not. They're just like, and I was just like, but yeah, so I was just like, okay, it's been like 2 days, and like the condition isn't hurting me. The condition doesn't hurt. Like what I'm doing, I don't feeling pain right now, and I don't think I'm going to like die. Otherwise, I think I would have been dead like days by now. So I felt comfortable and like what's going on right now doesn't seem to be impeding on my work right now, right? So I decided after work I would go and get it checked out. And that's what I did. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to die anytime soon, so I'll just go see someone after work. Just to be safe. I went to the emergency room because I'm poor, and I waited, and then it was like, then it was my turn, and they were like, "What's up?" And I was just like, "Hey, I'm kind of making all these kinds of weird gestures and shit, and I don't know why. I think my accident fucked me up more than I realized." Um, they had me go through a brain scan. Not as non-binary. Welcome. I'm telling a story about how my Tourette started. Um, so, yeah, I waited and waited, and then I got to a brain scan, and they scanned my brain through the MRI machine, and then I waited in the room for like hours. And then the doctor came, and then they were like, "Hey, so your brain looks fucking fine, so you can go home now." And I was like, okay, then why am I doing the things then? But but like yeah, so they sent me home. And I didn't really fight it much because I was also struggling with feelings of, oh god, I am being, and I just couldn't, not sure if this is actually happening or I'm just being like a dick. So I didn't fight it too hard. So I was like, so I went home after they kind of stink-eyed me because I think they thought that I was faking, and then they caught me on the act. That's the face it looked like they gave me. It was very stink-eyed. They were like, "We're on to you" kind of face. That's the face they sent me home with. um, but yeah, so I went home, and then I was still doing the things. um, and then my dad started to notice that I was making all kinds of movements. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, yeah, I'm fine. Because I was convinced it too. Because, like, I just didn't understand what was going on. I kept holding on to the belief that I was just like being weird for no reason. Um, so I went to work the next day. Pretty much the same shit happened, and then the next day, I gave an elderly it was my time to give an elderly woman a shower. And at this point, like, my tics were like very, very blatant at this point. Like, I was crossing my arms and going, "Woo!" Very loudly. I was saying the R slur repeatedly. I was calling myself the R slur. Yeah, I was making all of these, like, it was very blatant at this point. Um, I was just like, okay, yeah. So, I went to give this elderly woman a shower. I transferred her to her wheelchair, and then I transferred her to the shower. Oh, and I helped her get undressed first, obviously, and then helped her to the shower. And then as we were, like, she was bathing, and I was bathing the parts she couldn't reach, and all of that good shit. Oh my god. I had a tic where I shouted, "Wow, that's a saggy pair of tits you got there." I actually did not devastate her because, to the graces of the gods, the woman I was bathing at the time, was extremely hard of hearing. She was extremely hard of hearing. She needed like hearing aids and everything. And when I shouted, she didn't hear what I said. She knew I said something because she turned to me and said, "What?" But she didn't know what I said. She doesn't know the disaster that just spilled out of my mouth. Yeah, I was like, yeah, so I finished bathing her, absolutely horrified about what I said. And I decided, I was like, okay, I need to go back to the hospital. I decided to try and go after work. I thought I was fine to go after work. But, I was struggling. Like, I was blowing up. I don't know what was going on, but my tics were, like, really, really sporadic. Like, I was ticking non-stop. Like, it was non-stop. I was just, like, doing this over and over. Like, I couldn't I couldn't help with lunch because I was gonna throw the trays if I even attempted or something. So, and it looked like my coworker, and when my coworkers saw what was going on, they accepted that I wasn't going to be of any use to them at that moment. um, yeah, I was gonna wait until after work, until my charge nurse, until my charge nurse, um, I love my charge nurse. I loved her to pieces. She's very hard on me, but you can tell it's in a way where she actually cares about me. So she's one of my favorite charge nurses. I loved her to pieces. However, sometimes she does things that are like, she makes calls that are like, mm, mm. Right, she tries to help you, yeah, me, right. Sometimes she makes calls that are like, and, she saw me taking, and then proceeded to tell everyone that today was the day that we were going to help the elderly people shave. She saw that something was going on here. She saw that I was doing this motion and snapping and all that shit and said, "Oh, hey, we're shaving today." And then I was like, okay, abort, 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 abort. So, long story short, I told, my charge nurse what was going on and that I need to go to the hospital right now because, girl, I ain't staying and shaving like this. Do you want, y'all want a lawsuit? Y'all, y'all want a lawsuit. Oh god. um um yeah. So yeah, I decided to go home early, but obviously I wasn't going to drive to the hospital like this, so I had yeah, either go to the hospital or just yeah. Yeah, that's about how that was gonna work, because it was gonna be a bloodbath. So, I called my dad and told him what was going on and that I needed him to take me to the hospital. And I waited, and yeah, okay, so I waited for him to come. He picks me up, he takes me to the hospital, and then we go to the front desk and we go, hey, I'm making I'm making noises and doing shit, and I'm not trying to. I'm doing it very involuntarily. What the fuck? And then we wait, and then we go get into. We have another MRI session going on there. I sat in the MRI machine again. So I did the MRI machine again, and then we went in the room, and then the doctor was like, hey, so there's nothing, we don't find anything wrong with your scan, so you can go home now. And I was like, no, we're not doing this again, no. Okay, I accepted this the first time, okay? But, no. I was like, okay, MRI scan or no, I'm still doing things involuntarily. Clearly something is wrong here. Even if it's not what's going on with my brain right now, something is going on. I'm not making this up. I came to you through this before. And yeah, so they go and call some neurologist dude, and yeah, so they leave and call one of their neurologists. And then they come back and go, oh, if nothing else is going on, then it's probably Tourette, so, yeah. And he said that so casually. Like, bitch? Imagine, I know this isn't anywhere near the same gravity, but I'm gonna say this anyways. Imagine somebody casually. Imagine a doctor casually comes up to you and says, "Oh, we have to de-amputate your leg, so that's cruel." That's what it felt like to me. But then I got an appointment with a neurologist, and then we left it at that. My neurologist had me go to some other brain scan. I think it was the EEG. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a helmet but with lots of wires sticking out. Which, fun fact, well, I'm not gonna, I was trying to steer away from, I was about to get way off topic, ADHD brain, I'm sorry, but, EKG probably, I don't know, but yeah, it's like, yeah, helmet, lots of wires sticking out, and, like, I took that, it got to the neurologist, and the EEG or EKG, whatever the fuck, it said that there wasn't like anything terribly going on, like there. It seemed fine, which I was confused because I was like, I'm not fine though. I'm not. I'm not. I promise. At this point, I wish I was faking for attention, bro. I am fumbling my $2,000 paycheck life here. I am literally fumbling my bag here. But, yeah, yeah, I did tell them that. I did. But, like, after many, sessions, because of, like, some unusualities, like, for instance, my age, that shit usually starts in your teens, and I got it when I was 23, and this shit happened when I was 23, so, due to, like, a lot of unusualities, including that, I was diagnosed with a tic disorder, not Tourette's, but, then, I went to a psychiatrist on my neurologist referral. She told me to see a psychiatrist, so I did. For, like, more regular shit, so, like, figuring out, like, if I can take a pill, and then it'll, like, help with my tics, and things like that. So we're like on medication management phase of this. And my psychiatrist was like, bro. And then my psychiatrist had me diagnosed with Tourette's for various reasons, including I once yeah, so hold on, I am spacing out so bad right now. Yeah, my psychiatrist had me diagnosed with Tourette's, one because even if it didn't fit the age criteria terribly well, it fit pretty much every other criteria. And also I learned through the power of studies that you actually can have Tourette's as an adult. There are many cases of that. Many. At any rate, but what had her diagnosed with me with Tourette's is that I told her, so earlier that year, I was seeing a different psychiatrist, but for a for similar reason. So my therapist brought to attention that I laugh a lot, like I'm doing now, pretty much after every sentence. And this was after I was seeing a therapist because I was just like really depressed, and this laughing problem that I had kept me from getting a job because people are like, hey, what do you see yourself in 5 years? And I was like, right? But I was really depressed, I didn't know that was weird. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Like, I thought that was normal. Like, I've seen people get worried or anxious about something and then laugh. So, I didn't know that was what kept me from getting a job. I thought that was, like, various other reasons. So, I went to the therapist about that because I was, like, struggling to cope with that. And he was like, oh, you laugh after, like, every sentence, don't you? And I was like, excuse me for saying this, but, if you brought that to a job, people might find that extremely off-putting. And, and, yeah, so, long story short, like, he's like, if you're not doing this on purpose, you should see someone about that. That's not normal. Not verbatim, but that's basically how it went down. But I went to see a psychiatrist for that, and this was earlier that year. Like, and, she had me it's now a misdiagnosis, I see now, with a condition called, pseudobulbar affect, which is pathological laughter. So, like, take it with a grain of salt, but, if you've seen, like, the recent Joker movie, you know, where the guy was struggling with, like, that, you know, showed, like, Joker's origin story, I guess, I was basically diagnosed with the same shit Joker was. Yeah, so I went around with that diagnosis. I was getting treated for pseudobulbar affect. Even though I was really sus of it because, like, I was like, oh, that's what's wrong. And when you've been diagnosed with something, you're going to want to learn everything you can about it, right? So I Googled it, and it was like, hey, you get that condition from having Alzheimer's, a stroke, yeah, stroke, and all these kinds of freak things that could happen to your brain. That's how you get it. And I was like, ma'am. Ma'am. Unless there's about to be a very serious plot twist waiting for me here, I don't think this is it. Unless there's, like, a very, very serious plot twist waiting for me here. But, like, she kept insisting that that's what it was. So, yeah. Which, it worked out in the end because it made it a lot easier for me to get a job after that. Now that I can explain away why I laugh after every sentence. But, yeah. But, so I told my current psychiatrist that, and she was like, what? And I was like, that's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. So she was like, it's most likely Tourette's. And I was like, that's what I figured. Crazy situations happening to you, yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm not sure if I had Tourette's always and didn't know, or it just like it just happened. I don't know. I don't know which one it was. I think I at least had tics my whole life, but like it didn't become Tourette's until I was 23. If that makes sense. That's what my current theory. And if that's the case, then like the laughing tick and maybe like extremely few other ticks happen in there. Yeah, that's why I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. But it blew up in my face when I was 23.